Hi, and welcome to episode 4. I am Vadd, and we are making our way through ARK Creatures Reborn, AG Reborn. And last episode, in episode 3, we tamed ourselves our very first passive generating tame. That's right, we tamed an elite dodo. And that elite dodo is a part of a number of tames that we are going to put in our little passive gathering farm that's going to have very important supplies for us as we journey into the mod. Our first tame was an elite dodo. That elite dodo is actually a bit of an elitist. It refuses to eat regular berries. It actually not only refuses to eat regular berries, it turns up its nose at all the meat I could possibly feed it. I even tried to cook the meat. Turns out the elite dodo and most of the other passive generating creatures, they're fancy. And they will only eat things like veggie cakes. But if that's a little too expensive for you, like it is for me in my budget, we're gonna have to feed it things like citronella, long grass, rock carrot, salvo root. Those are all those second tier berries that you really wanna be getting seeds. As you pick up berries, you're gonna pick up the seeds for the citronella, long grass, rock carrot, and salvo root, and then we're going to put them in crop plots and grow them. I messed up these corners. I'm incredibly upset over this, so I'm showing it to you so you can also never unsee this. I flipped one of these walls one way or another way, and now the corners are a little wrong, so it hurts my... Now we all know that the shame has come to light. Okay. So the elite dodo and the passive generating creatures, they have a fancy diet. So if you go and tame a whole bunch of them right off the start, they're going to starve to death if you don't have a supply of food for them. I know that seems like it's pretty obvious, but most of the time I don't start off with building this elaborate fancy berry warehouse. But you don't need to go this tall with it, but I happen to have some information you might not. As we move further into the ARK Reborn mod, we're going to need a lot of berries. In all reality, just stack your crop plots, make a little warehouse. You don't need to, not even a warehouse, just make a berry farm, okay? Regular berry farm. But we're moving out of the caves. We're in a new modded series. I'm going to be staring at these berries a lot, and so I'm kind of going a little bit overboard. I enjoy it. It's fun for me. I was actually kidding with a friend that maybe I'm in the wrong game. I saw that Minecraft is always on the trending page in the YouTube trending section. I was like, should I be playing Minecraft? And I was like, well, I build a lot in ARK. I mean, isn't that what you do in Minecraft? Is this Minecraft now? I don't know. Look, path to trending aside, we have the structure we need. It rains so much in the center, I'm a little bit tempted to not put a roof on it. Because remember, we're here in the Sky Captain base and we have these big floating islands. So how are we going to get water here? Like, that's the question everyone should have been asking themselves this entire time up to this point. I love these S+ seamless crop plots because I can turn the corners, kind of hide the edges, and make it look like one just nice big box. I just like how it looks aesthetically, and that's a little bit important to me. You don't need to do this. This is, again, a little bit overkill, but you do need berries. Do not make the mistake of going out and getting a bunch of the passive generating tames and not getting berries. One option is I could get some water reservoirs going, stack them up on the edge of this floating island, but in the mod list, you'll see a mod called Lethal's Reusable. And that mod is full of dark magic. It has some of the best sorcery you've ever seen. And it has this little canister. You put it down, it makes water. The end. That's the magic. I love it. With S+, instead of using the external piping, they have this internal piping, which I think is so cool. Because again, it keeps my berry warehouse with a very clean feel. Kind of a future look we're going for here. And you can see in the water, little water droplet in the tile. It's really tough to see, but that's giving you a clue that you've put an internal pipe there. And when that pipe turns blue, that is your clue that there's water running in it. And then I have these nice snap points for my spigots. And lo and behold, it's raining in the warehouse. I really am tempted to not put a roof on here. It really rains on the center a lot. We did set up another floating island, another one of the tiny floating islands for the berry farm here. And we're gonna need it. We really do need a lot of berries, not just to feed our tames. There's actually several recipes that we're gonna take a look at. I don't think we'll make too many of them today, but we actually need the berries for a lot of the different special recipes that come with the ARK Reborn mod. We actually need a lot of berries. I almost felt like when I was looking at this mod at the start, I was like, is this Farm Simulator? Like, how many berries do I need? A lot. you need a lot of berries. I'm wasting lots of space with this warehouse. I'm not stacking things. I built the roof 3 high. I made my character stupidly tall, and I don't really want to duck. But here it is. It's got kind of the same glass vibe we gave to the other warehouse. We're gonna have 2 nice levels, and we're gonna go ahead and put a roof on it. Since we can get our sorcerous water up here, we can definitely put a roof on it, take advantage of that glass buff. We'll get the full buff as long as we don't make any tragic mistakes, which of course we did, because when you're building things in ARK, you always make a mistake and don't know it. All the crop plots I put here in the bottom, they don't get the sunlight bonus because I use this wooden floor. And I should have used the S+ glass ceiling tiles here, and then you can change the way they actually look. So this is really going to be S+ glass. This is so expensive. So now I can change them visually because S+ is the best, and now they look like wood, which is what I wanted them to look like. But when you walk over them, they still sound like the metal, glass panes, which drives me nuts. But you're never going to hear it. You're never going to know. Maybe you'll hear it once. But hey, look, warehouse is done. Build yourself a warehouse. If you don't get yourself a berry farm going, your tames are going to starve and die, and you're going to need these berries for a lot of your recipes. I hope you like the look. If you have any suggestions or things I should add to the berry farm beyond, crops in my crop plots, I actually didn't need the water on this bottom level. The spigots from the top, that tap up there, it actually watered all the crops below, but I just wanted them there because it felt stupid to have all these nice spigots kind of crisscross on the top and not the bottom. But what do I know? Build your berry farm your own way, but just know that when you are playing this mod, build a berry farm. By the way, we never did name our elite dodo because it's fancy, and from now on it's just an elitist dodo because that's what it is. It has this whole building all to itself, and it feels super elitist. Look at how much it judges us with its eyes. Stop blinking. Listen, elitist dodo aside, we're on our way further into the mod. We have our base set up. We're off the ground. We've got fancy armor. We've got fancy tools. I added a mod that lets us grow rare flowers. Check the mod list. It's all in there. You need 10 rare flowers, and then you can craft rare flower seeds, which is awesome. That's all the mod does, rare flower seeds. Then we can plant the rare flower seeds at the cost of 10 rare flowers. So we do have to go out and gather rare flowers, which are, as the name suggests, they're kind of rare. Because we need the beehive, which you need 250 rare flowers to build the beehive. It's an S+ structure. And now you're saying, what do we need a beehive for? We just finished the berry farm. I just want to go fight and tame things. Well, I'm always doing a random shout out to my subscriber pool. Thank you, Animal Tube. Thank you, Sasquatch, actually. And thank you, Wen for the support. If you would like to get mentioned in a future video, subscribe now. Right now, push the subscribe button. Thanks. So we need the S+ beehive, and we need the rare flowers in order to make the beehive. And the S+ beehive is actually also currently powered by rare flowers. So it's actually kind of like really super important that we have a stable access to rare flowers. So to recap here, we know we need passive tames to generate important resources to progress in the mod. And we also know that we want to make this fancy Tranq Pike, and we have pretty much the tools. You just need some metal, wood, and hide. It's pretty basic resource, but we need those improved narcotics, which we need a bunch of berries for. Not too many, but enough that it's worth having a berry farm. Maybe we want to make some golden treats. They only need 1,000 berries of, 250 of each of the special ones, or any of the improved narcotics, or the special other taming supplies that you really need when you go out taming. They all need berries and or giant bee honey or eggs. They all have kind of tricky, fancy, hard to get ingredients. Setting up a berry farm is going to make a big difference. They all get made inside of the AG Reborn anvil bench. You're really going to spend a lot of time in here, but since we have our berry farm going, it looks like we can get our fancy Tranq Pike. It's got some really fun colors. I'm a huge fan of the colors. I'm not sure that they go with anything I've ever seen in ARK before, because, as you can see, I'm wearing kind of brown armor and on a stone base with wood structures, and it's this vibrant colored. Hey, watch the way the sky islands just kind of disappear. I spend a suspicious amount of time trying to find my base when I know exactly where it is. I fly over it, under it. That thing cannot be balanced for PvP. It's just, Animander Rake would be proud. It's just invisible. Listen, we're on our way to maybe tame something, maybe fight something. We have our Tranq Pike, we have some knockout supplies, and I noticed something. whenever I've gone out adventuring, exploring, it takes a lot of time to get there and find things, but the dodos seem to spawn together. You see that there? An alpha dodo. A silver ZomDodo. Look at the top hat. Isn't that awesome? And when we came here to tame another elitist dodo, because our one elite dodo needs to just get off their high horse. So we're just taming things with the supplies we got from the drops in the mod. Remember, the drops get remapped, and we actually just tamed our first alpha dodo. That's right. There's other passive generating creatures. We mentioned them in episode 3. Here we are in episode 4, taming the next one. We're going to tame some more elite dodos, and those elite dodos are going to generate resources for us. And we just tamed an alpha dodo, which is also going to generate some resources for us. We'll take a closer look at that a little bit in the future. What's going on with that dodo with the top hat? The silver ZomDodo. It's not aggressive. It is huge. My character is maybe a little taller than a regular wall. You know, it's a pretty tall character. And these dodos pretty much see eye to eye with us. They could just peck us right out if they wanted to. Another elite dodo tamed. Remember, they're passive tames. So good thing we brought our fancy Tranq gear. I was actually hoping we'd find something to Tranq out along the way to get the dodos, but we didn't. Can we bola this silver ZomDodo? The answer is yes. Okay, so this is important to know. You can bola these dodos. Again, we're getting this retaliation damage pretty consistently this time. We do a lot more damage with the spear if we can hit it in the head, but as you can see here, the hero is not the brightest and a little bit slow. It's not going to be a tough fight. Since we can bola this dodo, we're going to be able to take it right down. You cannot currently tame silver ZomDodos. It's a zombie dodo. It's kind of scary. It's not all that fast. You can bola it and kill it with a spear. I'm sure there's more efficient ways to kill this, but just starting out, I don't want to risk a tame coming into a creature we've never fought before. Remember, bolas have a little bit of a cooldown, so we want to keep throwing spears as we move into this silver ZomDodo. It's got a pretty big health pool, you know, sitting over 20,000 health points, but it's not very fast. You can bola it, and since we can kill it with the spear, it's a super low risk to us, even though it's hitting us really hard with that retaliation damage. About 5 hits and we're dead. You can see the HP regen is pretty strong with that prime hide. Ooh, a 930. Wow, so maybe there's a sweet spot in the top hat. I don't know, hit it in the beak. Kill these things whenever you find them. Harvest their bodies, but only if you make sure to access their inventory. That's right, silver treats. Notice, silver treats, the only way to get them currently is to kill silver ZomDodos. If there's another way to get them, I haven't found it yet. I'll update you later in this series progresses, but I'm pretty sure you only get them from killing silver ZomDodos, and after killing them, going into their inventory or their drop bag, and who put this rock here, and getting that silver ZomDodo, the silver ZomDodo silver treat out from the silver ZomDodo. When we harvested the body, we did get some alpha blood and ancient hide, which is really nice. Spoiler here, I'm pretty sure the alpha dodo generates alpha blood. So the silver ZomDodos are actually pretty rare. Without a creature finder mod, I'm not sure how hard they're going to be for you to find because there's only ever a couple on the map, and the center might feel really small, but it's got lots of little nooks and crannies. But you can get across just about the whole map with a grapple and a parachute. You know, with the way these pillars are set up, there's always something good to jump off of. And in this mod, currently, the real threats aren't in the air. Maybe I'm just in a safe biome, but for the most part, I just travel around the map naked, unafraid, because everything walks on the ground. So I would think if you're on the center, building up on these pillars, some kind of a pillar base would be fairly safe, you know, using a cliff platform or maybe a tree platform as things go. But okay, see here all these giant messages. We got that huge lag spike. I think these are all bosses. We got a Robo, we've got a Warden, we've got a Tech, we've got, I think it's a Mega in there, and they just spawned in. They're only here for a couple of minutes. They have millions of health, and whenever we see those messages, it's going to become a time when we need to run over there as fast as we can to wherever they are and kill them before they despawn. I'm not sure if they all have the same despawn timers or not, but I do know the mod finally officially got their first wiki up on their wiki page. I will link that in the video's description. And it's a work in progress, so be kind, but it does exist now, specifically for AG Reborn. And hopefully at some point we'll get some more information about how those bosses work. Right now, we're just not ready to fight them. Those bosses are well outside of our weight class. We're just killing dodos with a spear, mostly because it's super cost efficient. I mean, we do have some other tames we could take out to kill some of these creatures we've been killing so far, but I just don't think it's worth risking them. I mean, it's a pretty low investment to go out here with some basic, this prime hide armor and just a couple of spears and take it down. You see the Spino way over there in the water. This was actually a really scary tame because that Spino is a part of the Big Four. It's not one of the fancy Big Four, but it's definitely a part of the Big Four. We don't want to mess with it if we can help it, but we do want to keep killing these Prime Alphas when we have a chance, and the Prime Alpha Dodo is definitely bottom tier. We're trying to get an evolution tribute, that Evo tribute. Remember when we killed the silver ZomDodo at the top hat, and we were able to get those silver treats? Well, earlier in this video, when we were just finishing up our berry warehouse, we saw that golden treat needed 1,000 berries, 250 of each of the fancy berries, some other supplies, and one of those was silver treats. So those silver treats have an expiration timer. We get them from killing silver ZomDodos, and we need them to progress through the mod. Maybe you can get away without needing the golden treats, but it's going to speed up a lot of our taming processes. The silver treats are kind of like the golden treat, just not as good. All they do is they work as kibble. They're just fancy kibble for the modded creatures. I've noticed the modded creatures in this mod have an impressive amount of torpor. It drops really quick. Their HP regen is off the charts. In addition to that, their taming is a little wonky. I would love some fancy treats to tame things as quick as I can, because the last thing I want is to have a tame go south. It really is dangerous down here on the ground. We're killing prime alphas. That's kind of a goal as we move into the mid game, to kill as many prime alphas as we can, because we need that evolution tribute. And you get the evolution tributes, those Evo tributes, by killing prime alphas. Prime alphas that... Ooh, don't spear the tech parasaur. Wow, okay. We do live dangerously, my goodness. Yeah, the tech parasaur is a boss. Like, it's got the big black bar. It's considered, I mean, it's not aggressive, it's a parasaur, but I'm pretty sure it'll wreck our face. Yeah, run towards the Spino. This is such a bad spot to be. Listen, you need those Evo tributes. They're an important ingredient and an important part of progressing. The Prime Alpha Dodos have the least likely chance of dropping them, almost zero. Actually, it might be zero. I've maybe gotten one from a Prime Alpha Dodo, and who knows if that was what really died, or if around a corner some Giga was chomping another Prime Alpha. Bottom line, if we don't get a Evo tribute from killing a Prime Alpha, we tend to get black pearls. So it's pretty safe to say that killing these is important, not just for the black pearls, which are kind of a tough resource to get, especially this early. We don't need them for too many things, but for the Evo tributes. But in addition, this is one way we could be farming that ancient hide. However, the time it takes to go find a Prime Alpha and to kill it, it's better off spending your time to go ahead and get an elitist dodo. Those elite dodos, because they passively generate the hide for us. Think about that. Next time you're going through the mod and you go out and hunt some Prime Alphas, sure, you get a bunch of hide. You really do, but you could have been working on another project while you're elite dodos were generating the hide for you. That would be a lot more time efficient. So up front, there's a lot of time in this mod spent trying to get off the ground and get safe, trying to get a flyer, kind of get a starter base, and then finding, ooh, we got nashed. Ooh, hit us for the big shots there. Yeah, that's a lot of damage. That nashed is scary. I don't know what's going on here, but if it kills us, we're gonna cry. Okay, so you spend a lot of time in the beginning of this mod just trying to get set up and settled, and then you're going to spend a lot of time recognizing you don't actually have what you need. A lot of the recipes seem like they're super expensive. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. It just is a part of the mod. So knowing that, you're going to spend a good bit of time getting these berry farms, and by the time you've done that, especially if you're a solo player, you know, if you're in a tribe, one person can be out farming and fighting, one person can be upsetting the base. You can really have some good teamwork here, but as a solo player, it makes the mod feel like it has a slow start. And maybe that's just how it feels from my perspective. Maybe you have a different feeling. Notice we got some of the alpha blood again, but it feels like it has a little bit of a slow start to the mod. And a lot of that's because we needed to get off the ground. We needed to get our base together. We needed to get through some of the supplies we need, and hopefully our crops are growing. Because if our crops aren't growing right now, we're going to have to figure out what went wrong. Listen, we're on the Sky Captain base. I really hope you're enjoying the series so far. We're in episode 4. This is not the end. It is only the beginning. And so far, we have a couple of elite dodos. We have an alpha dodo. We've collected our first silver treats. We've got our fancy Tranq gear for the ARK Reborn mod. This really is a strong start to progressing through this mod. I hope these tips and tricks help you as you progress through the mod. If you're just journeying through this experience with me, I hope you enjoy it as well. Until next time, please, if you learned something or enjoyed this video, share it with a friend. If you are new here, please consider subscribing. If you have joined and enjoyed before, welcome back. If you would like to see more quality content, please consider joining me in supporting the channel through Patreon and utilizing the affiliated links. Thanks!